Good morning, Ireland. It is Friday, August 30th. So, yesterday I met one of my AT heroes, a guy called Craig Mains. So, I did mention him before where I was talking about people who do crazy feats of endurance, and the AT is part of it. So, what Craig did, I was following him before I left Ireland. I think it was Feb 22nd-ish, he started in Georgia, and he set out to do a yo-yo, meaning he gets at one end of the trail, hikes all the way to the other end, and then turns around and hikes all the way back. So doing double what I'm doing. Okay, so that in itself is kind of nuts. But the interesting thing about Craig was, in his very first video, he got all the way to a place called Neil Gap. So on his first day on the AT, he did over 30 miles. And I looked at it and I went, I'd give him a week. I thought, that's nuts. There's no way he's going to be able to sustain that kind of pace. And he'll be done in a week. He'll be burnt out and he'll fail. I was completely wrong. He did keep it up. And in fact, not only did he keep it up, but he got all the way up to Vermont. And there was no sign of the Whites being opened because they were still under snow. This is back in May. So instead of waiting around, what he did, as you do, he decides to hike the Vermont Long Trail while he was waiting. So the Vermont Long Trail is a 270 mile long trail, the first 100 of which it shares with the AT. So Craig effectively hiked north the additional 170 miles, and he came back down the 170 miles back to the junction with the AT. Then he was able to continue north on the AT through the Whites into Maine and up to Katahdin, where he summited, I think it was mid-June or towards the end of June. So just as he was about to turn around and come back down, very tragically for him, he got word that his dad was dying basically, and he had to go home. So that kind of scuppered his plan. But his dad died 2 weeks ago, and he just decided to help him heal. He got back on the trail. So he put out a posting basically saying the yo-yo is on. So he started walking south from Katahdin. I don't know how long ago, maybe a little over a week, I'd say, based on how fast he moves. So I bumped into him yesterday, had a chat with him. He's a really nice guy. He was actually taking his zero yesterday, which is kind of funny. He was with the Trail Angel, and they were shuttling 3 or 4 other hikers around, or slack packing them or something like that. And I met them at the end of my hike and had a wee chat with them. I took a photograph. Here it is. He's a extremely nice guy. Probably comes across, I don't mean to sound cruel, probably comes across even nicer in person than he does in his own videos. I think I said that nicely. But a really good guy, very distinctive looking, and I was quite honoured to meet him and have a little chat with him and have a laugh and whatever, and to get his photograph. So I wish him well. I don't know when he's planning on being done back, down in Georgia, but he's got, just over 2,000 miles ahead of him. Hopefully everything goes well for him. Also this morning, actually, I stayed in a hostel last night in an area called Caratunk. There was a girl at the breakfast table called Magpie, and she's also soboing. So, she only started a week or so ago. Moving very fast hiker, very fit. And she's completing her Triple Crown. So she's already done the PCT and the CDT, and the AT will complete her Triple Crown. But it was great listening to her stories of some of the other trails she's done up in the Pacific Northwest, etc. She's done some serious stuff. And to look at her, you wouldn't really think of it. You know, she just looks, you know, like a, I mean, why would she not look like a regular lady? But, you know, she doesn't look gnarly. She's still elegant is probably the nicest word I could use. So it was nice to sort of talk to her. Kind of impressive. Makes me feel like what I'm doing is sort of pathetic. However, there you go. Everything's going well. Today we've got quite an easy day. I think we're just doing about 12 miles to an area called Moxie Pond. So if I see anything significant, I'll photo it or video it or whatever. But until then, catch you later. So here's a nice view of Middle Maine. Look how undeveloped and wild it is. It's beautiful. Sooner the better Trump gets his pipelines through here and messes it all up for everybody. Then it'll be great. It'll be awesome. Totally awesome. So that lake there, and there, I think it's actually the one lake, is probably Moxie Pond, which is where, somewhere along there, my hike ends today. I think I'm about 4.5 trail miles from it. So it's lovely. It's a beautiful day. Gentle breeze, sun in the sky, a little bit of rain, or sorry, a little bit of cloud cover. I think there's rain behind us looking at that. Better hurry. Beautiful. Catch you later. Wet Whitey on the AT. These little stones are very slippery. I'm still alive. Oh, it's wonderful on the AT. Just wonderful. Oh, that was close. Nearly went. Okay. Need to use my poles before I go into this deep bit. Talk to you soon. Hello Ireland. So today is Saturday, August 31st, and today we're hiking between two hostels. So we started off in the, I was going to say town, it's not really a town, a bend in the road called Carratunk, and we are in the Carratunk House Hostel, run by a really nice guy, an multiple through hiker, Paul something. What was his surname? Oh, it's terrible. I can't think of his name. Super nice guy. Ran into a couple of people I hadn't seen in a while. Walden and Booty. Walden had already finished. Booty's plodding along. Should be quite close to where I am now, actually. Nice guy. He used to be a croupier in Las Vegas. Crazy people I meet. So we're on our way to, we did quite a big day today, 24.7 miles to a town called Monson. And Monson is sort of the last town before we go into the 100-mile wilderness. And it's at mile 2077.5, which means I have 114.5 miles left to the top of Katahdin. After this evening. So that's exciting, getting close to getting under that 100-mile mark. In fact, tomorrow we'll get under that 100-mile mark. I think tomorrow's section that we're doing is 15-ish, so that will just pip us under the 100 miles remaining mark, which is cool. I feel like we're really counting down now, counting down fast. So today, you might have noticed, we had a couple of river crossings that were, they had no bridges, so we just had to walk straight across. But they were okay. The first one was only ankle deep. The second one was kind of knee deep. And I almost slipped on my posterior. But I went by okay. Alrighty, so I think I've maybe 5 miles left in my 24.7 mile day, so it'll be nice to get to the hostel, get clean. Got a bunk reserved there. Hopefully meet some more people that I haven't seen in a while. It's quite a popular hostel. It's called Shaw's, and we'll talk to you later. If it's anything worth photographing, I'll photograph it. Alright, talk to you soon. So here's something kind of cool. So the trail actually, where are we? The trail comes from over here somewhere through this flooded bit. See the blaze on the tree there? Through this flooded bit and on. And there is a beaver. Cool. Is that you, Shock Top?
Yep, yep.
See the beaver? Just over here? See it just making a wake over there? So the beavers have constructed this dam here. I'm going to get my finger in the picture. Here. Which has resulted in this big pond, and it's flooded the trail. So we're going around it. And there's their wee house over there, this structure here. Got a wee house. Cool. Finally saw a beaver. Catch you later. These guys work hard. Look at this. Let's give that some scale. It's a big hunk of log. They've just gnawed it into sections. Glad they're not aggressive. Okay. Good morning, Ireland. It is September 1st. So happy September, everybody. Happy birthday, Geraldine. Hope you're doing something nice today to celebrate. I won't give away your age, but it's a big number. Today, we're enjoying a 15.2 mile slack pack from Shaw's Hostel in Monson in Maine. And it's fantastic. It's a beautiful area. We've come across a really nice beaver dam, and we saw the beaver. It's the first time we've actually seen the beaver working away in the water. I think I'm going the right way here. Yeah, the only way I can go. I must apologise. I accidentally left a very tedious piece of footage in my last video. I didn't mean to do that. The bit where I thought there was a moose or something in the bushes and nothing happened. So that was a couple of minutes of very accidental footage. So sorry for putting you through that. Another little piece of information. So they had a weighing scales in the hostel. So I have dropped a total of 31 pounds, which is okay. It's okay. That puts me at 11 stone 2. Yeah, 156 pounds. So, hang on a second before I fall on my ass here. So yeah, so that's okay. It's probably as light as I was when I left school. So, but everything's going well. Still on target for summiting around the 8th, 9th-ish, maybe 10th-ish. Doesn't really matter. But yeah, I will catch you later. Have a nice day. Well, here's an interesting point. I have just crossed the point where I have less than 100 miles left. Woohoo! I'm on my way home. See you all real soon. Bye. Shook I've over my head about not experiencing enough bad weather. Hello Ireland, it is Wednesday, I think, September 4th. I'm in the 100-mile wilderness, not the 100-acre wood as I keep calling it. It is the 100-mile wilderness in Maine. We are about 45 miles in or so. Today, in crazy wind and rain, we went over Whitey Mountain. Which is one of our last, actually I think it was the last 3,000 footer before we get over Katahdin. So there are a couple of minor humps after Whitey. There's Gulf Haggis, I think was the last one. And then it's just ground like you're seeing now, and the odd little stream crossing. And then it gets, I believe, like this and relatively easy for the next, I don't know, 50 miles or so until we pop out of the 100-mile wilderness. And then we have about 15 or so left to the summit, so that'll probably be broken in two. We're going to leave the last bit from Katahdin campsite up to the summit, which is about 5 miles, 5.2. We're going to leave that till the summit day. Have everything else done, so we just got to go up and obviously come back down again, and then we're done. So I think today and 5 more hiking days, and then I head for home. It'll be kind of weird. It'll be very weird. One funny thing, actually, I might have mentioned, I'm pretty sure I did mention many moons ago, that I had been avoiding looking at the AT maps. So nearly every building you go into along the AT has these tall, narrow maps on the wall. And it shows the AT as a red line going through the 14 states right up the eastern seaboard. And I mentioned that I was avoiding looking at these things because that's how Bill Bryson's trail ultimately ended. He looked at this map, saw how little he'd done, and equated with how long it had taken him to do that little bit, and just basically concluded he was never going to get the hike done, and he gave up. And he then started to do little short sections that had, significant historical stories around them, etc. So I didn't want to take that chance that I would be dispirited in some way by looking at those maps, so I've been avoiding them up to a few nights ago when I was in Shaw's hostel, and I stood and I looked at the map and I just stared at it. I did take a little photo. Here it is, actually. And I'm pointing at the location of Shaw's hostel, which is Monson. And let me figure out where I'm going here. Katahdin Ironworks Gate via roads. I think that's me left. Yes. So I have to say I felt a little weird. I felt almost kind of nervous. It was like, holy crap, look what I've just done kind of moment. Just looking at this huge map and looking at this crazy distance that I've just walked along. Just my own feet have carried me along this mad distance. And it was a peculiar moment. It really was. I felt good about it, but still strangely kind of, I don't know, it's like, holy crap. It was like it was retrospectively scary, It was kind of like, holy shit, this is a big deal. So I'm nearly there, and I'll be a mess at the top. You can kind of hear it in my voice. Every time I think about it, I get a bit choked. Ooh, some editing to be done. But it's going to be sort of strange just being finished. Such an amazing trip. So, catch you later. Did you start the video this time?
I did. You don't have to go back again for the third time.
Okay. My feet are cold. Hey Ireland, it's Thursday, 5th of September, just coming to the end of another beautiful day. The last few days we've had some shit weather, didn't take my camera out much. I did manage to get some strong winds at the top of Whitecap Mountain rather, but today is beautiful again. It's been a fairly easy day. Just finishing at a place called Joe Mary Road, which will be at mile marker something like 2138, something like that. So I've only got the plan left is 20 miles tomorrow, 20 miles the day after. Then we have a 9-mile sort of a rest day, and that gets us to the foot of Katahdin. So on Monday we just have the 5-mile climb, and then we'll come down a different trail, but it'll be similar distance, and that'll be it, done. Then it's a case of getting my ass back home. So yeah, it's been a blast. Talk to you soon.